Hey guys, it's Patron here. So today I'm going to take some of the submissions from my patrons and do some live tweaking for you. And keep in mind the submissions are, I just picked a few because I don't want to keep the video too long, and I want to make this more of a constant thing. This is the submissions comes from a variety of different backgrounds and skill levels and experience and so on. So I'm gonna keep that in mind as I am doing my commentary and tweaking. So this one is, and also for privacy reasons, I'm not gonna reveal any names or anything. All right, this one may look like a sketch, based on like line sketch, but based on this user's previous posts, I'm guessing he or she is trying to do something a little bit more realistic. So the problem here is that there's over reliance on lines to determine form instead of on shadows and shapes and so on. So I'm going to tweak the one on the right, and we'll see what happens. And any questions, let me know. Okay. Alright, so the goal, of course, art is very subjective, so I'm treating all of these with the goal of making them looking more realistic. So I'm just tweaking the proportion just a little bit, and make it, you can see the original one is a little bit too flat, and I'm just tweaking a little bit, and now again, we're sticking with just the gray tones. I'm just gonna put down the dark tones here that I can use. Brush wise, you can use any brush. See, by doing that, you can see, even though it might not be 100% correct to the reference image, you can tell that the nose, the shape, the shadow, it comes out a lot clearer and easier to read. My advice to this artist is to pay more attention to not lines. You can use lines as guidelines, but when you actually fill in the values, use shapes, forms to create that form, and not rely so much on lines. And if something's really dark, make it really dark. Don't just fill it in with the same graphite lines. Because look at the contrast difference between the two. Okay, next one. This person wants to practice how to draw hair. The issue I see with this one is not really regarding understanding or anything. It's just about the person doesn't have the right tools. It seems like whatever he's using, the eraser is not sharp enough, and especially B, the charcoal he or she's using is just not soft enough. So there's not much I can say about it. Like in terms of shape of the hair, like it's done well. So assume you have the right tools. This is where I would say, it's not your fault, but you need some really soft charcoal, right? You would create. This is not so much for this specific drawing, but in general, you would use charcoal to create kind of a underlying tone like this, that kind of matches the overall shape. So yeah, you did a great job with the hair. I feel like the problem was just you didn't have the right tools, so you couldn't do the eraser couldn't do this job as well as you liked. Right. All right. This one I already prepared two image. Despite you might think the middle one is brighter than the right one, they're actually the exact same color. It's optical illusion that because they're so close together, you think this one is much brighter. Like I can move the right one to the left one. This is actually like one of the fun one. Ready? I'm gonna move the right one to the left to the middle. You see, they are actually exactly the same. See, it's an optical illusion. Okay, I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to leave the middle one. Oh, wait. I'll leave the right one alone, and I'll make adjustments on the middle one. And this one's very well done. Proportion wise, I'm not going to change much. There's a few things I could change, but I think what I really want to focus on is transition tones. Transition tones is obviously, as the contours of the face changes, the tone value changes. So when you transition from one tone to another, there's got to be a zone. It's not gonna go from like this value then suddenly to this value. There's gonna be a zone where the value gradually, gradiently, like it's a gradient, it gradually change to the next one. Otherwise, it creates the idea of this. It creates the idea of. Let me go back a little bit. Let me change it to red. Otherwise, it creates an idea of almost like it's too sharp. You know what I mean? It's like things come down too sharp. Like here, like it's almost like there's a plane here, and then suddenly the plane goes towards like a completely different direction, like a very sharp edge that's right there. With transition tone that's smooth, that's of enough length and smoothed out, you can tell that you can solve that problem. You can see in the reference image. Reference image goes from a bright color, right, from roughly here, to like a dark color here, but there's no like a sharp line in the middle the way you have here. There's a much longer transition tone. So I'm just gonna make a little bit adjustment there. I think you already got the point. In actuality, this whole area is like a blur. There's no really a hard line of any sort. There's no highlights here or here or any. There's no highlight here or here. Okay, great job on proportions, by the way. And also don't over expose the image, because in the actual image you can see that there's quite a bit difference between how dark it gets from this side to here. But in your image you should reflect that as such. There's quite a bit of difference there. So if you were to make a mistake, I would rather you to make, like I said before many times, if you were to make a mistake, I would rather you to make one that leans towards make things too dark rather than make them too light. And same thing with the eyes. Look at the eyes. If you look at the eyes here, do you see like a super dark line there? No, you don't. What you actually see is actually a slightly darker, very blurry line. So just do that next time. Just, don't have to overthink it with anything. Otherwise, your drawing end up look like an illustration, like a cartoon, instead of something realistic. in your drawing, right, we see something that looks more like this. If we were to look at it in terms of 3D, kind of like that. It curves a little bit, but not much. When in actuality, it should be curving like quite a bit, quite a bit. Great job, and keep submitting your work, and I will be keep doing stuff like this, and hopefully you guys, this will help you to improve even faster than before. So if you apply the principle but refine it, you'll create a much better product in the end. Alright, thank you guys for submitting, and thanks for being a patron and supporting me. I'll talk to you guys later. Cheers.